Hi, so excited. It's our first Goddess Instagram Live with Sami Hobbs, so I'm going to call her in. Give me a second. Sami. Okay, we're waiting for Sami. I hope you guys are enjoying the energy of the full wolf moon. I'm feeling it. And last night it was gorgeous. It was so big and so bright. Okay, getting Sami on. And Sami is so amazing. I can't wait for you guys to get to know her. We're telling followers. I hope people can join, ask questions. Okay, yeah. Sami. We're still waiting for her to join. She's joining. She's watching. We need her to be talking with me. Oh no. Let's try again. It says she can't join. Hold on. Send request. I sent another request, Sami. I was like, what's going on? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Are you feeling the energy of the wolf moon?
Oh my gosh, I totally am. I totally am. And I also have this new light set up for this moment because I have no light in my room naturally.
I know it looks good. I like your Himalayan salt lamp in the background.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Sam, we're in New York. Are you in New York City?
I am in New York City, yes. I am in Ridgewood, Queens, technically, but we can say Brooklyn.
Lynn?
But I know that you're in Denver. I
Yeah.
have a lovely city as well.
Well, I'm so excited about this series and that we're kicking it off with you on the Wolf Moon. You know, the Wolf Moon's all about shedding the old and bringing in the new. It's the first full moon of January. There's so much energy. It's all about goals and intentions. And you are one of my favorite people because you've helped me stay focused and accountable, and you're so inspiring. And I just wanted you guys to know that Sami was recently featured as the goddess of creativity and communication, and she's I know I'm here to all the flattery sparkles, you know. But one of my favorite things about you that I want to share too is that you guys follow me, hopefully, because that's why you're joining. And if you look at all the beautiful artwork and posts, Sami's actually on the Goddess team, and a lot of the post and art that's on my site, she's actually curated or actually created. So special. I mean, there's original artwork on my Goddess Instagram from this beautiful woman right here. So I thought we could start off by you just kind of introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we'll go into our intentions for 2020, so in 2021.
2021. I love it. So thank you for that beautiful introduction, Jamie. And I just want to say a huge thank you to you for having me on your team and for being so inspiring with what you do, because you are an incredibly talented and loving and supportive ENP. And I just love seeing you coach and seeing you help people. So first of all, you're amazing.
Thank you.
My name is Sami. I am a brand designer for women-owned businesses in the health and wellness space, a lot of coaches and practitioners, and I live here in New York City.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's really special because you do work with mostly women-owned businesses and, like you said, people in the health and wellness space. So I think that's something to call out. Like, what are lessons you've learned through your own business and helping people in the health space?
Oh, that is a loaded question. So I have been working primarily in the practitioner niche for over a year now, and I have, through osmosis, taken in, so luckily, I'm so blessed. I've taken in a lot of information, and working with UFDNPs and coaches, my entire perspective has really shifted. And I'm so lucky to be evolving health understanding and journey at the same time as I begin my entrepreneurial journey of people. They're 10 years into a career or a business, they're just figuring out like, oh, my health and my business are so connected. And health is wealth, and health is everything. So I'm just really blessed to have that connection kind of created in me. It's kind of unfurled as I've worked with coaches, and I've changed my aspects of my eating pattern behaviors, kind of understanding how health levers that FDNPs bring to the table, how those really support my health. So it's really great.
Yeah, so just to, if you guys joining, yay to everybody. Hi, that's here. Um, yeah, so just when Sami keeps saying an FDNP, just so you know what that is, it's a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. That's a mouthful. um, but and I am one of those as well, but that's what we do. So we basically, the FDNPs, we are functional nutritionists in the functional medicine space. So we can order lab tests and really get to the root cause of what's going on. So that's really special, and it's also a really tight knit group. Like we work with each other and support each other, and Sami's kind of in that space with us, which is wonderful because I love that we are not working against each other. Like we are all practitioners in this kind of functional community, and we help each other. So even though we're not in competition, we actually share with each other like, hey, I have a client, this is what they're presenting, and what do you think? And we give each other advice and support each other. And so that's one of the great things about working with a functional nutritionist, because that's part of our game, that we support everybody. So yeah. So
Beautiful community, and it's really supporting collaboration, which is a huge thing. So it's a wonderful point that you made.
yeah. Now, you've been posting a lot of also beautiful messages, and I just kind of want to talk about that. Like, so for 2020, what's like a big insight that you learned, and how you're going to pivot to 2021, kind of like in alignment with the Wolf Moon? What are you shedding, and what are you bringing in, and what's your like message?
That's so beautiful. This is probably going to be a multi-part answer, as a lot of answers are when I get asked these questions. But it's a great question. I I think 2021, I really want to embody um, being able to find a really beautiful work-life balance, and I really want to kind of support my body better through stress, implement all the things that I sort of have learned from you, and in terms of stress and immunity and connected. So I really want to implement those through 2021. Um, and I think I to give room for activity to really, because that's such a big thing for me. And my clients can see as I kind of work through these ebbs and flows with the creative process. And so I really look forward to being able to um, kind of allow space for that. For that.
Yeah, we have Macaulay on, and she's going, yes. She's supporting. She's like, yes. And that's actually just so important. I mean, stress, we always think about stress as one level, but really it's everything, and it hits us on so many points. And I think one of the things that you talk about that I love is that you talk about self-care, and like, taking time to just breathe and be intentional about, taking care of yourself, right?
Absolutely, because I'm sure, I mean, maybe not community. It's that if you aren't filling up your own cup, you can't support others.
Mhm.
Important.
So as an artist, like, and a creative, what's your favorite way to fill your cup?
Okay, so I have totally been so lucky this past year. I fell into, was called into, or invited to a few different support communities with women that are developing their spiritual, they are developing their senses of selves, they're working through a lot of wounds and, inner child work and trauma and all that kind of stuff. And so you, through those heavy topics in a community of people, of women that are just there to, it really makes it a pleasant process and makes it, oh, there goes my speaker. It just turned on. Yeah, it makes that so much easier to have a community there to support you. Um, so that's a big thing. And so I have those weekly. I pretty much have two or three for different.
That's so awesome. Like you have all these different tribes and communities that you work with and get inspiration from. I agree. Like that's really my number one thing that I think I already do, but I need more of. You know, like you get inspired so much. And especially when you're a learner and you learn from other people and get that inspiration and get that flow. And do you like, when you're on those, are you taking notes and then drawing? I mean, does it really inspire you for like making art?
Gosh, I've had so many pieces I come into my brain because of listening to, either trainings or being a part of those group calls, and I've had art like just show up in my brain. And that's usually when it comes the easiest, because that's when my brain is sort of, my body and my brain are relaxed, and then I can really ease into the creative process, because creativity is not born out of stress.
Exactly. What's born out of stress? Nothing but more stress.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's just a huge point for everybody that's joining. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited. And please make comments. And Macaulay also said, you're totally helping me figure that out and really actually do it for myself and not just saying it. That's great. So, yeah, like you can't be your best self when you are stressed out, and you can't be creative or inspired or, good at work. Performance, I mean, your performance, and I'm sure especially being a creative is probably way more difficult. Like if I try not, I try not to get stressed, but when I do get stressed, it's probably easier for me to work through it to help somebody with their diet, versus to think of this beautiful thing I need to create for, you know, an Instagram post, or because you're selling your art now too, right?
I've happened, okay, well that's a whole story, but I posted a piece on my wall and I got a fair amount of interest for this little watercolor, and it was just a little side thing. I feel really supported and really beautifully, consistently my full-time branding work. So it be over break, and then people got a little bit excited about these pieces.
Okay. Well, let's get to the real deal. Kind of wanting to know, how you are taking care of yourself, because obviously gut health is really important and reducing stress is really important, to be a business owner or just to be a human in life and enjoying life and be productive in all capacities. So, what are some things that you're doing to keep yourself, when you do get stressed, how do you kind of calm that down? Like, what are some tips that you can give us that are working for you right now?
Yeah, so I have a few different answers to that question, and I'm ever perfect with employing these, plenty sort of fall apart or don't lean into these habits, and it's a journey. So just because I'm coming here and I have my fancy ring light and I, an influence thing, doesn't mean that I do inaccurate. Um, but I do have a few different tools that I've started leaning into again because of, the need in the space that I work in. But one major one that I really love, and it's kind of, you can do pretty immediate 4-7-8 breathing. And so you're going to breathe in over the course of 4 seconds, you're going to hold it for 7 and then release it over 8. And that's one thing that you can pretty much do immediately. And I feel like we could even use it right now. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, I can guide us through dropping in just a little bit into our bodies. And I've been implementing this into my programs too. So I love kind of meditating with clients and finding an opportunity for that. So what I invite you to do is to take in a breath over 4 seconds, and I will count you through that. So you can go in 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to hold it for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can release over an 8 count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I know the 7 is hard.
Whoa.
I've found that very, very difficult. And I think an interesting point, and I wish I could have tried one, but when it comes to the 7 count, which can feel so scary because we're holding and it feels like you're going to lose it, right? And there's almost this beautiful affirmation that all of the air that you need, like, it's not going anywhere. And that's really when you can sort of implement like even a second or two of resiliency through that moment. I think is just so, so fascinating. So I've sort of been training myself for a long period of time to do that better.
That is beautiful. That was so, and it was difficult, but I want to try that more because I've done other breathing exercises, but I really like that because it definitely pushes you a little bit deeper, you know?
Absolutely. So that is one that I employ. I also talk about this all the time, but I mother effing love therapy. Therapy all the time. So I have so many providers on my care team that are sort of supporting me in different places. I do acupuncture now, which is another one if that's accessible. But I think kind of finding ways, yeah, hi Julia, finding ways that you can, support your. It's something free like breathing. I mean, meditation, breathing are free, very expensive. I know that therapy expensive, acupuncture can be expensive. Like a lot of the wellness tools are not necessarily accessible to different communities, different people, but things that we can definitely you know provide these tools to that
Yeah.
are do immediately. So
I mean, breathing is free.
and yes, this is the key point of the talk was that breathing is free.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So I wanted to share real quick one of your messages from you being a goddess and
Okay.
just kind of incorporate that you reminded us that you are so much more capable than you ever thought possible. You reminded us that you deserve to feel better. If you are in pain from chronic illness, you have the right to seek help and put yourself first. And I just thought that those were beautiful messages to share, as a goddess, and especially a goddess of creativity and communication, and how, you are really good at taking other people's ideas and turning them into this beautiful, piece of art. And that really helps us communicate with the world. And that is such a gift. And so thank you for your gift. I know this is but just to close up, and I think as other people are joining and people are saying yes, breathing is great, love therapy, I'm crying and it's not even said about me, so true about Sami, right? I know. So we are here to celebrate you in your power, and thank you for being a goddess, and thank you for sharing, your messages with us, your art with us, your creativity, and how, your tips, your life tips. So moving forward, one last thing for 2021, what's your new, what February? What's happening in February? What are you going to do, goddess? What are you gonna what should we do? What's our goddess telling us to do for the month of February to inspire our own creativeness and communication and our own creativity? How can you inspire us to do something for February?
Yeah, it's a fantastic. So something that I saw, I think it was an astrology video today that was the wolf moon. Um, a huge theme that's present for this time is allowing something to be expressed that you have sort of either put down or just sort of has been like percolating in you. And so it's really being called to allow that thing to burst forth and express like with all of the, you know, kind of freedom and vulnerability and that you can. I was watching Brene Brown's amazing TED Talk today on vulnerability, which I highly recommend everyone do. Like, I don't know,
Like every day.
every like every day or like this TED Talk. It's amazing. It really dives into, you know, pretty much a lot of the issues present, I think, for a lot of people. But I think vulnerability is such a thing that we can allow to burst forth, and that kind of shows up for me in terms of my art. Because if I'm not vulnerable, then I'm not really creating with all of my heart and all ability and all of my life. So I want to be able to care, and it's hard for me. I mean, coming on these IG lives, that's scary, and sharing my art online is hard, and I give so much of my heart, and that's really scary. But I that. And there was also, what's the title of the talk? I think it's, if you look up on YouTube, Julia, Vulnerability by Brene Brown
Yeah.
is
Yeah. If you
titled.
Sorry, I think if you just do Brene Brown, and it's gonna come up.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I think that that's really important message for sure. And for all of us, no matter what you do, showing up and being open and being vulnerable, like even for what I do, I mean, you have to be, one of the things that's really important, as I was talking about our community of nutrition practitioners, is that we really have to take a stand and be the health advocate, for our clients, because sometimes they're not able to do that for themselves, and so we have to be there to be, open and loving and caring, but also push, like whatever you were doing isn't really working. And so how can I help get you there with my heart, and be your cheerleader and your coach and your guide and your supporter, and stand there with you, but also push you to make changes that you may not really want to do, you know? So.
It's accurate. I've seen you embody this so many times, and I have seen this consistently through. And through some really things. I mean, health is so powerful, and diet, and people having different health goals. It can feel really, really wonderful job of guiding people through that. It's really amazing, really amazing.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, like I said, your creativity with us and your message. And I think I'm going to take from this, as February, I'm really going to make an intention to have more of a tribe and a community like you're doing, and get more inspiration from other people. I mean, I feel like I crave this, I miss going out, so I need to just create it and do that. And I'm also going to, um, do some artistic things. Like I journal every single day, but I never draw. So I think I need to like maybe let some of that out and like let some creation out. And I'm going to start to draw something from my heart in my journal every day. So not just the words. And I'm going to think of you. So I'll let you be my inspiration to get some creativity in my journaling.
Love that so much. And I think another thing that, either you could do or I could do is if you're doing some, drawing, artistic creativity.
I can't hear you.
Huh?
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, that's weird. It's my phone's just on my bed, so maybe. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
But I was gonna say either adult coloring books or reverse coloring books are so good. It was a TikTok find, totally random, but you can fill in the lines. They give you the color and you can fill in the lines, so it kind of switches it up a little bit, which I think is so fun. So there are a lot of different options. But I journaling practice and that you're going to invite yourself to do a little bit of art alongside that. Do you have any other stress, like kind of daily mechanisms or any other tools that you use in PNP?
Yes. Well, every day I start off my morning. I think mornings are the most important. And I take time for myself and I do a gratitude practice and I kind of do a creative visualization of, what are 10 things that I'm grateful for, and then what would make my day amazing. So three things of, if these things happen today, that would make my day perfect. And then I visualize them happening. So I speak to them as like it's the end of the day and these things have already happened. And then at the end of the day, I write down what are three amazing things that happened. And usually they're the same things. And I think starting off with the intention of this is what I want the day to happen and actually, picturing that and feeling it and really visualizing it, it's amazing. Because I honestly didn't think this was going to work, but it really does. It really works, you guys. So then at the end of the day, I kind of like recap what were the best three things that happened. And then, I do a gratitude practice around those things happening. So I think it's just really putting you in a positive mindset when you first wake up and then also when, you go to bed. And I have this new journal. I'm only working with like 6 journals right now. It's a thing. But I have this new journal that I know. So it's kind of crazy, but I love it. It's called the Monk Manual, and this one's so cool. But it's actually like a planner and a journal in one. And so it's focused around just kind of the ideas of like the way monks would give, and they're also gratitude filled. So you have to write down ways that you gave to someone else for the day, which is so beautiful. And then you write down your, when you felt the best and when you felt uneasy, like unrest. And that's kind of the journaling piece, which has been really helpful for me to recognize. I'm really a positive person. And actually my sister is watching and she could say sometimes, she's like, Jamie, stop being positive. I just, like sometimes things aren't positive. And I'm like, what? So I think that journaling on here, when I felt uneasy or when I felt unrest has been a really eye-opening experience, because then you can explore that in a positive way, but you can explore it. And I've been doing that. Like, you know what, there was a moment where maybe I wasn't as confident or as intentional as I wanted to be. And so then writing that out, the next step is one thing I can do to improve tomorrow. And I feel like that really helps me shift into, how can I improve tomorrow and not let whatever bothered me bother me, or to recognize that and be like, why the heck did I even allow that, to shake me? So that's been really helpful. And then also getting ready in the morning, like that's my, like I take my time. Like I have a routine and I take my time, and that's kind of my me time, you know, like I really try to just pamper myself, you know, in the morning, because I feel like who else is going to do it? I mean, you know, it's like that's for us. So, yeah.
What are the tools that you, or what are those specific morning things that you hold really near and dear to your heart?
So, okay. So first thing when I get up, the very first thing I do is I write down what I'm grateful for, those things. Then I say thank you like 3 times for each thing, and really like feel it. And I hold my crystals. So actually, this is the big one, and it's an amethyst, and it's right here next to my gratitude journal, and it is so powerful. Like I'm not even kidding. When I like hold this and I say all of my things that I'm grateful for, and I say thank you, like when I'm done, my hand is vibrating. It's crazy. And so then I just like,
Ooh,
I like infuse myself with it, and then I make my morning kind of intermittent fasting tea and take my supplements, and I really like, you know, so I drink a whole glass of water with my supplements that I take, and I make my matcha. It's like matcha collagen powder. I put pearl powder in there, which is really good for your skin and your hair and your nails and all the beauty things. And yeah, and then I do I pick an adaptogen, some sort of either focus or immunity or, you know, energy. I pick some sort of adaptogen. I put it in my tea and blends it all up with grass-fed butter and MCT oil and the collagen powder. And then I, you know, take a shower, do all that. But then when I get ready, I really just take my time. You know, I mean, I used to work in holistic skincare for a really long time, so I have a lot of beauty rituals that I do. But I just take my time, and like I massage my face and pamper myself, you know. And I listen to, while I'm getting ready, I listen to podcasts or books on tape. Whatever. I listen to books on my iPhone, and or a podcast, usually in the health and wellness spectrum, or intention setting. You know, something really positive and uplifting, some educational things, and then you know, that's kind of a morning routine. So
I love that. There's so many beautiful in there, and I think so much that you know, people can away from those moments. And also, you can hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you. So, oh, the other thing I forgot to say is I spend like 20 minutes with my cat.
So important.
Yeah, she waits for me. So she knows after I make my tea, she sits there and waits for me. And then like I brush her and I hug her, and like that's our time to start the day. And if I don't do that, she gets very fussy.
What is type of breed is it?
She's a I don't know. She's like, I think she has some Maine Coon in her, but I'm not sure what the other. I think like I don't know, but she is a tortoise shell. I think it's called like a faded tortoise shell. So she's got a lot of long hair, and she's got like gray. It's like gray and caramel tortoise shell.
Not to put you on blast,
I don't know.
but that are joining, I am logged into your account. Media, you know, Instagram algorithms, they kind of pick up on consistent, you know, interesting content. And so what each of my clients are really leaning into in that week. For Jamie, it's just been me for the past 2 weeks.
That's how you can tell I was stressed out or something. Cat, cat pictures, cat pictures, cat pictures.
Sending you like gifts because I was like, I think she
Yeah, super funny.
But yeah, there's so, just to get back to you, there were so many gems in there. And I think huge, a really huge point for 2020 that a lot of people have been, if they are still working, they've been working from home most likely. And, you know, kind of inviting us to really create these routines that support us about you, but it's, gotten harder to get up throughout the year. And every day kind of has the same thing and there's nowhere to go. Can't go to co-working spaces, can't go to an office, things like that. So to create these beautiful moments for yourself in the morning, it's such a wonderful way to invite joy in to your day and just kind of start the day right. So I love that you have many tools. And one other thing about gratitude practice, there was a golden gem in there too, that you, and that's that, having a gratitude practice for things that are not already present. It is so hard, first of all, struggle with that tremendously. But that's really where the beauty, like that, to say thank you for things that you don't get, that is beautiful. So I commend you on holding that practice. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, and it's something I actually ask my clients to do, and I think it makes a huge difference is to, when we first start working together, is to create like almost like a vision statement, but for their health, and then have them every day, like say thank you. Like I can envision myself being like whatever their main complaints are or concerns, having them start the day with saying thank you for, and then having that be over or feeling better or managed, so for me, like when I was in not well, I would have said, I am so grateful that I'm not feeling anxious about the bathroom, that I can feel confident in what I'm eating, and when I'm eating it, knowing that I don't have, and I can leave the house and not feel like wherever I'm going, is there going to be a clean bathroom there? Or I can, be with my partner and feel like, we can have an intimate moment and I'm not going to be gassy or, embarrassed or bloated or, whatever. Like that's what I would say. So I'm so grateful that that's not me anymore. That's not how I'm living anymore. I'm grateful that I have food freedom and bathroom freedom. And like that would be my health vision. And I would say that and envision that being a thing every single day in the morning and at night. And I think the more that when you're going through something, especially that's gut related, the gut and brain are so connected, that this gratitude and seeing yourself the way that you want to be, it just puts you in that positive, open-minded set. It takes you out of the negativity bias of getting better and healing, and puts you into, this is possible. And I'm not saying that's not a cure, you guys. Like it just puts you in the mindset that this is possible and that you can focus on yourself with intention. Because I think a lot of times we do that with other things in our lives, but we don't necessarily tie that into our health, and that our mind does play a role. Like our energy and what we put to that energy plays a role in our healing. So that's something that you're right. Like being thankful for things that you want that haven't happened yet is so powerful.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there were just any thoughts that you share. There's so many gems, so many beautiful things. I want to highlight, first of all, how you help so many people get this freedom that you're talking about, like the bathroom freedom overall in your life and not feeling uncomfortable anymore. I mean, that's massive. So it's kind of number one is, thank you for doing that, lived it, and can help guide people to that point. I think another major point that you're helping individuals that often, if they're struggling with chronic issues, and I felt this, I was very entrenched in the chronic community because I chose this. So I sat in that for a long time when I was searching for community. I was searching for women that were struggling similarly to myself. And something that can sort of, in my opinion, can plague a lot of these sort of being caught up in like either to that endpoint or just kind of the understandably the negativity of day in and day out. And I think what you're inviting is sort of honoring each moment and being present and where you're at with your journey and knowing that there's an up and flow to it. And I think that that's so beautiful. And that's what actually allows people to heal, is getting to that point where you both feel so, you feel so grateful for the places in which you're doing better. You also know in the moments in which you're still struggling, like, hey, I can get through this and I have someone by my side. I have a coach, I have a community. So it's just really beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think it's it's definitely the most important thing is to believe, you know, because if you don't, I just remember going to the doctor, and I have clients that say the same thing, and I hear this all the time. And if you don't feel like somebody's got your back or that it's possible, like I was just actually talking to a client this week who said, you know, I was just told that it is what it is, like my chronic illness is, it is, or it is what it is, and that's it. Like you can do things, and that's, you know, there are some, that's not true. You know, like, because if you don't find out what the root cause is and start to address that and have hope and really address the root cause, you're not, then of course there, that it is what it is. You know, if you just accept, that's part of like the post that I say, like you are not just your diagnosis. I mean, your diagnosis is a label. You are not a label. You know, it's so important to understand, like let's work backwards, you know, like let's reverse engineer why this happened, and then start to affect change in the why, and then that will help the when and the what. You know, and so this is part of that. But I do want people to know that, like when I'm saying, oh, you know, have hope and believe, I'm not saying that like just willy-nilly. Like I'm saying that's a piece of the pie, but the other piece of the pie is to have that open mindset that if we reverse engineer what's going on, things can change. And I see it every day, you know, and I'm the same thing. Like I have autoimmunity, and you can manage your autoimmunity and you can prevent future autoimmunity, you know, if you do that reverse engineering and you have somebody, you know, that is your supporter and that believes and helps coach you through it, and you know, helps hold you up when times are hard and doesn't let you give up. And that's what is the most important thing, you know.
Say it louder for the people in the back. That was amazing.
Yeah, so yay.
It's at the heart of the issue because people, well, especially in this country, I mean, our treatment of, you know, conditions of, you know, a variety of types is basically to fill at it or say just the way it is. And what you're coming to the table with is, you know, to actually do the test, find the real reason why, and support you along the way, and also provide you with tools. I mean, the levers that you've taught me about, the connections between, you know, the gut and the brain and gut and anxiety. I mean, that helps me. A lot of people know I'm highly anxious. It really helps to know like there's a connection to all of this. And that kind of, for me personally, that really grounds me. And it makes me happy. I'm like, there's a biological thing going on here, and that's possibly contributing to different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I should nix gluten or I should, you know, do this and that. So
Are you still are you gluten free?
I am gluten free. Yeah.
How long have you been gluten free?
3 months, I would say. I
Wow.
but it's only gluten free things are really, I think, like any other. I hate the word any other diet. Like if someone goes um, keto, vegan, or any things. I mean, a lot of these diets, especially veganism, they still have junk food. Like there's still
Oh yeah.
gluten-free food. Like people think like, oh, that's just, you know, that's how I'm gonna lose weight or whatever. And it's like, no, like I'm not doing it for that, first of all. And second of all, I still have to be careful. Um, there's still a lot of junk food out there,
Yeah.
just removing the wheat. So
No, yeah. Yeah, processed food, you guys, is processed food. Like, I like having a gluten-free, like processed food is definitely a treat. It's not something, it's not a replacement for bread. Like, you know, having gluten-free bread is not a replacement like for having a sandwich. You can't have a sandwich every day with that. It's still a treat. It's still processed, and it still has, usually the other concern is that when you are sensitive or having any inflammation reactions to wheat or gluten, it could show up in people in different ways. It could show up in your skin. It could show up in your brain. It could show up in your gut. You know, it could not show up in anything, but still causing inflammation that you're not aware of. It's hidden. And I think that the most important thing that we realize is that gluten, your body has molecular mimicry, and this is really rude. Okay, you guys, this is rude of our bodies, but whatever. It's when you're in a state of inflammation, your body can't tell the difference between, let's say, gluten and certain other foods, like maybe rice or corn, you know. And like, I know it's rude. It's like you're eating gluten-free, you're like, I'm gonna eat tortillas and have some tacos, but you may not be able to. That's why the testing comes in and really kind of understand. And that doesn't mean like you're going to have to be eliminating those things forever. It's just until we realize what's going on. So everybody's so individualized, but I'm glad that, I mean, that it's working for you, and that you've noticed that just because you're gluten-free, you can't have the processed foods all the time.
And I also want to say again, I'm in this space specifically, so surrounded by coaches. So for anyone that's listening to this and they're thinking, oh, I'll go gluten-free, like, you should probably actually talk to a practitioner like Jamie. Receive some guidance. I'm just very firm. I'm so deeply rooted with you guys now that I'm for everyone, you know, get the testing for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's been really helpful for me. It actually helped the keratosis, which is crazy. The derm getting better.
Yes, like the keratosis pilaris. Yeah. You
Yeah.
add, sorry, now we're like going into, but did you add any extra vitamin A? So that also helps because it's a vitamin A deficiency that shows up in your skin too. So I would incorporate that as well.
The
Oh,
daily.
no. Yeah. Sammy gets like, because she helps us all in the functional space, she gets all these tips. She's like, reading your Instagram posts and creating this beautiful artwork for it. And I'm going to just do everything that you're saying.
Either that, or if I don't do it, then I just very sub of you at one time that are all like, psst, you should probably go gluten.
Yes. Okay, cool.
That.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I really want to thank you again so much for, again, like just coming on and being a goddess and sharing your creativity and inspiring me. And I'm sure that you had lots of fans on here as well. So thank you so much. And I look forward to, you know, just seeing more of your inspiration and art on my page.
Thank you. Well, your team. So
I know, but I just think it's so special that you are able, like I said, that you're able to take people's ideas and not just their words and create something powerful and beautiful and, you know, like put it out there for the world. Like that's very brave, and it's a gift that not all of us have. Like you might be able to be an artist, but you might only be able to interpret yourself, you know, to have yourself come to life. But the fact that you were really great at listening and creating and interpreting somebody else's ideas and words and bringing that to life in a space that really helps people. I mean, we are in the health and wellness space, and so you are also kind of putting that out there, like talk about universal flow, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to be a goddess and be featured, because I think that's a very special gift, and I appreciate that you put it out to all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. You are so sweet. You are so sweet. And I am so grateful to be featured on this incredible IG Live and to be featured as a goddess. It's
And for everybody watching, I would love for you to put in the comments, like post in there, and even if it's a replay, just post like, was there any message in here that you took away? Like, you know, we were talking about the wolf moon and things that happened in 2020 and what we're going to do different for 2021. And knowing that Sami's the goddess of creativity and communication, how can you take her message to us and implement it for February or for months to come, whenever you're watching this, the next month? Like, is there anything you can do to be more creative and to feel that inspiration from her? And just post it in comments. I think that would be super fun. So for every goddess that we have come on, they all have a different message and a different power. And so I think it would be great to take that message and power and share it with everybody, you know, with all of us, and what you could do differently intentionally. So yeah.
Love that. That is such a fun prompt. It's such a beautiful way to set it up. So I have one final question for you. This in the evening, I'm curious, are there a few, or just as we wrap this, from your past?
Oh, you were breaking up. What are you curious?
I said, I was curious, since I know that you do your gratitude practice in the evening, I'm curious if thing that you are grateful for from the past day.
Oh, like for today? Like what am I going to say today? Well, I'm going to say that I'm grateful for this. You know, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do this with you, and that there's so many amazing, you know, I think mostly there's men and women, but mostly I feel like people that are on here have been women, but just through the messaging. But so many amazing people have inspired me. And like I said, I'm a learner. So that's going to, in my gratitude, I always talk about like, what did I learn today? What did I absorb today, and how is that, you know, going to make me better? And I mean, I just have three. I always do. So that's one. I take the lesson I learned. So I'm going to take that lesson and prompts that I just gave you of to the people of what can Sami teach me, you know, and that creativity. I'm gonna try to be a little more artistic and be more open about what I write and draw something. I also every day, and I'm not just saying this, you guys, like I do this every day. I am grateful to kind of pay it forward, you know, like I'm the gut goddess because of what I went through, and I want to help prevent that for everyone. I don't want anybody to feel the like they're tied to the bathroom or in pain or not confident with how they look and they feel. So every day I write that I'm grateful that I have a business where I can help people, you know, and it's like how many people can I help today? You know, so that's what's going to go in my gratitude practice this evening.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. You're such a loving and compassionate and giving person, and it's just incredible to work alongside you and just to be in your world. That's incredible.
Thank you. And I'm also grateful that people joined and shared comments and liked, and like, I mean, I just always want engagement, and I'm super happy that people are, you know, watching and sharing, and I really hope that they post. So
Yeah. Gosh, this was absolutely wonderful. Diana, we just did a live about 2021 goals and some beautiful things that we're calling in with the Wolf Moon. Diana Davis is my so she just
yay. Awesome. That's super great. Yeah, so thank you so much, Sami, and everybody, and we'll look forward to the next goddess coming on as well. And again, I can't wait to draw something, and then I'll show it to you. I'll invite your feedback.
Awesome. I cannot wait to see it. You are so delightful, and thank you so much for having me on. And I'm so appreciative of you. So grateful.
Thank you. Happy Wolf Moon.
Happy Wolf Moon.
Bye.